Imagine a world without screens, no phones, no computers, and certainly no television. For most of human history, that was our reality. Stories were told around campfires or read from books. News traveled slowly by word of mouth or printed paper. Then, in the early 20th century, a radical idea began to take shape. Inventors and dreamers like John Logie Baird and Philo Farnsworth chased a seemingly impossible goal. They wanted to send moving pictures through the air. They envisioned a machine that could capture light and sound and recreate it in another miles away. It was a concept straight out of science fiction. These early pioneers tinkered with spinning disks, cathode ray tubes, and electron beams. They were trying to paint with electricity, to capture a moment in time and broadcast it into homes. The first successful transmissions were crude and ghostly. The images were blurry, low resolution, and flickered in a tiny monochrome box. It was a mechanical marvel, a radio with pictures, as some called it. Few could have predicted the cosmic impact this simple invention would have on civilization. It was more than just a new gadget. It was a new window, a portal that would soon connect humanity in an unprecedented way. By the late 1940s and 1950s, the television set began its grand journey into our living rooms. These early sets were bulky pieces of furniture with small, rounded screens encased in polished wood. Families would gather around this new electronic hearth, their faces illuminated by the black and white glow. The world as seen through the television's eye was for many years a land of shadows and light, of black and white. But our universe is a kaleidoscope of color, and it was only a matter of time before technology sought to replicate this reality. The quest for color television was a complex scientific challenge. Engineers had to figure out how to transmit 3 separate signals, for red, green, blue, and combine them perfectly on the screen, all while remaining compatible with existing black and white sets. It was a monumental undertaking, a leap in broadcasting technology that promised a more immersive, lifelike viewing experience. When color broadcasts finally became widespread in the 1960s, it was a revelation. Suddenly the gray world inside the box exploded with vibrant hues. The Wizard of Oz, its famous sepia to Technicolor transition, became a stunning showcase. News reports felt more immediate. Nature documentaries became more breathtaking. Commercials seemed more enticing. Owning a color TV became a status symbol. Television became a window onto a richer, more colorful world. Alongside color, another small invention quietly revolutionized our relationship with TV. Before this, changing the channel meant getting up and turning a clunky dial. That physical tether kept us anchored to the set. Then came the remote control. Early versions were often connected by a clumsy cord. They soon became wireless, using ultrasonic sounds. Later, remotes used infrared light. This small device, fitting in the palm of your hand, granted the power of instant choice from the couch. Channel surfing changed viewing behavior. We were no longer passive recipients of a single network schedule. With a click, we could leap between worlds. Dramatic film, game show, news broadcast, cartoon. This power of choice forced broadcasters to compete for our attention. The remote control was a declaration of independence, placing the TV universe in our hands. For decades, television was a limited resource, delivered through the air by a handful of powerful broadcast networks. Your viewing options were determined by your proximity to a transmission tower. Poor weather could turn your favorite show into a fuzzy mess of static. But in the 1970s and 1980s, a new delivery system began to snake its way across the landscape: coaxial cable. Initially designed to bring clear signals to remote areas, cable television quickly evolved into something much bigger. It wasn't just about improving the picture, it was about expanding the cosmos of content available to us. The cable explosion created a television big bang. Suddenly, instead of 3 or 4 channels, there were dozens. This expansion allowed for the birth of specialized 24-hour networks dedicated to single topics. There was a channel just for news. There was a channel just for sports. There was a channel just for music videos. There was a channel just for movies. There was a channel just for weather. There was a channel just for children's programming. This niche programming catered to specific passions and interests, fragmenting the mass audience into smaller, more dedicated communities. Television was no longer just a shared national campfire, it was becoming a collection of countless smaller, specialized campfires, each burning with its own unique content. Just as cable was wiring up cities, cable was wiring up suburbs, another technology was reaching for the stars. Satellite television offered a way to bypass the ground-based infrastructure entirely. A large dish in your backyard could capture signals beamed down from space, delivering hundreds of channels to almost any location on Earth, no matter how remote. This was a game changer for rural communities and parts of the world that cable could never reach. It further democratized access to information and entertainment, proving that a clear line of sight to the sky was all you needed to tap into a global river of media. The next great leap in television's evolution did not come from the airwaves or from a cable in the ground but from the internet. The rise of high-speed broadband in the early 2000s created a digital highway, and on it, video began to flow. Netflix, a DVD by mail company, saw the future. They started offering movies and TV shows on demand, anytime, anywhere. This was the birth of streaming. It shattered broadcast TV's foundations. No schedule, no appointment viewing, no traditional commercials. The power shifted to the viewer, no longer bound by a broadcaster's timeline. We could stop resume. Binge watching emerged. Entire seasons released at once. Consume a whole story in a weekend like a novel. Television storytelling changed. Writers crafted complex, serialized narratives. Weekly cliffhangers mattered less than the pull of the next episode. Where and how we watch transformed. TV liberated from the living room box. Laptops, tablets, smartphones. Stream HD everywhere. Watch a movie on a cross-country flight. Catch up during a lunch break. Content creators, major studios, independent YouTubers, found direct access to global audiences. The content universe exploded into a near-infinite library. From our vantage on September 5, 2025, the definition of TV blurs. We move toward interactive, personalized, immersive experiences. Imagine holographic displays. Imagine virtual reality narratives that place you inside the story. Imagine AI-driven content that adapts to your choices. The screen itself may disappear. Projections, Arkansas overlays. If you enjoyed this journey through television history, subscribe to Evolution Station for more fascinating stories and discoveries.